now that we've talked about the business of blockchain, the technology of blockchain, let's spend a little time talking about who are the players in blockchain. The biggest players by far are the cryptocurrency guys. These are the guys we hear a lot about, whether they're using a open source blockchain or a blockchain that was built as part with Bitcoin as part of the cryptocurrency. So we have, and I get these names, I have to remember these names. So we have Bitcoin, we have Dogecoin, we have, I forget what the L stand, Lyco coin is, something like that. It's the number of cryptocurrencies out there is amazing. And each one uses a blockchain, and not necessarily the same blockchain. Each one of those blockchains have different attributes. So, for example, using a particular cryptocurrency that kind of has with it not only the ability to record transaction, it also has the ability to add something like reputation to part of the blockchain, so that either the application itself can look and see what's the reputation of this participant on the blockchain, and gives that feedback to the application. When I say application, it can be a store, it can be a literal application on a credit card processor that says, oh, you know what, let's check this credit score of this potential merchant or this buyer, and alert the application, alert the consumer whether or not this participant on the blockchain in this cryptocurrency is trusted or not. What's the reputation of the folks on the transaction? So cryptocurrency, obviously, biggest players in the blockchain. A lot of blockchains are dedicated to a specific cryptocurrency. In theory, there could be other applications put onto the same blockchain, but most of them are dedicated to a single use case. Open source. What are some of the interesting open source projects in blockchain? If you wanted to, build a small blockchain in your organization and kind of put this to the test, or in your lab, where can I get this blockchain software from? OpenChain is an example. IBM sponsored Hyperledger is another one. Ethereum is super popular from a cryptocurrency perspective. What are some of the commercial companies or use cases in the space? So IBM by far is taking the lead from both a marketing perspective and investment perspective. IBM is all in on blockchain. And the reason why I call IBM out, because they're a great model for platform. When you think about enabling blockchain applications and creating the blockchain itself versus just using the blockchain, IBM has made strides in investment and contribution to both their closed source solutions and the open source solutions on this idea of reputation, for example, in the blockchain. How do we take blockchain and start to expand it out for business use cases? IBM obviously has a large business solutions group as they talk to customers about what they need in a distributed ledger. IBM is leading the effort in expanding the technology and providing information. So if you Google IBM blockchain, you'll get there are many white papers on blockchain and a lot of great technical information on blockchain. Pencil Data, I love this company, is a good friend of mine from the industry. Val is the CEO of Pencil Data. Interesting concept. They've pivoted from their original AI machine learning goal to talk about being able to use DRM for enterprise data. When I was in the farmer industry, we had this challenge of distributed sharing of sensitive data. How can I share research data with a partner? And then once that partnership is complete, retract that data. Val and Pencil Data is looking into that problem of how do you create a shared data platform using blockchain as a way to validate rights to a data set. Interesting solution, interesting company. Reach out to Val on Twitter. Then I like to put this one in there. You know, Kodak, for all its press on introducing the concept of moving to a blockchain platform and its stock price going up by 100% or 200% or whatever, you know, kind of that bubble of that internet bubble we find ourselves in a lot. Kodak, similar situation. They announced that they are now going to start to invest in the blockchain. You know what? Once you peel back the hype around the stock price and what they're doing, it's really interesting. The idea, same with Pencil Data, is how do I take my photos and give rights to a set of entities and then retract those rights? When those entities can be individual people, or it can even be platforms. Literally, 2 or 3 days ago, a friend on Facebook posted a desperate message and says, you know what, how do I limit who can view my photos on Facebook? I don't want to limit who can view my post, but I want to retract the rights for people to use my photos on Facebook, specifically photos. So this is not, you know, she wasn't a technology user, just one of my, you know, we call them normals, just one of my normal friends in life, had this very basic problem of, you know what, I shared photos over the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years on Facebook. I no longer want everyone in my friends list to view those photos. How can I, at a higher level, say that Facebook in general, you can no longer use my photos. You can have the metadata around the photos. You can even have the captions that I put in the photos, but the photos themselves, your rights have been restricted. You know what? Kodak is actually solving that problem. I don't know if that's going to be a widespread use case and whether or not they'll get the APIs and access into a platform like Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter to make it useful. But I think it's a legit business case for blockchain. So that is it. Hopefully that was a good, quick introduction to the blockchain. I'll open this up for questions.